Hey fellow Void crew, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new Let's Play tutorial series covering Void Crew. If you would like to skip the game's overview or the setup of this series, please use YouTube chapters. For those that don't know, Void Crew is a 1 to 4 player co-op first-person space adventure game where you embark on advanced spacecrafts and journey deep into space on thrilling missions where you and your crew can that has never trained for. Pilot the ship, man the turrets, perform emergency repairs, recharge power cells, utilize space station weaponry, fabricate munitions, and exit the ship on extravehicular missions. Be it patching the ship hull or scavenging derelict wrecks. So, despite being primarily a co-op game, I'm going to be playing this single player. I have played before, but I chose to reset my account. As you can see, I have to accept the end user license agreement, so that my account level would be reset to 0 and I would be kicked through the tutorial, which is why I haven't accepted this, because as soon as I accept this and the next one, the tutorial starts. It's going to be both a Let's Play and tutorial. Live viewers are going to be able to vote for the void jumps I make, which will make sense once we're in game. Well, you guys can hear it. Once I'm inside the game, I will try to fix it so it's actually being piped through my headphones. Also, what is that? It's like a lighting glitch.
Necktie reprint complete. The sarcograph indicates significant wetware corruption, possibly a frayed silver thread. Please, step out of the sarcograph and verify
there we
you're
go.
in control of all your limbs.
Alright, so this is the start of the tutorial that I had to reset my account to do, and hold F to leave the sarcograph.
Motor skills intact. Frayed silver thread resulting in partial soul transfer. Tabula rasa protocol engaged. Time is of the essence. You act types are usually pretty good at following orders, so listen close and do what I say. Now, pick me up.
So, she is in this special item called the homunculus, which is like your computer core.
Bring me to the central computer and insert me in the cradle.
And in order to have a ship running, she needs to be in this central computer cradle.
Perfect. Now power the ship's reactor.
So there's a button down here, you hold F to turn on, and that powers up the ship.
The circuit breakers have been tripped. This happens when you draw more power than what is available from the ship's power grid. The breakers disconnect, one after another, until I, the homunculus, eject from the central computer cradle, and the entire ship powers off. The only way to get it back online is to reinsert me in the cradle and restart the ship's reactor. Please reset the circuit breakers.
Alright, so when you draw too much power, and you go over your exceeded limit, which, as you can see in the top left of the screen, is 6. As time progresses, the circuit breakers will trigger one at a time, and if you stay remaining over your total available power, it trips all circuit breakers and your ship shuts off, which is like doom if you're in combat.
The ship's helm and the engine are currently inaccessible due to low oxygen levels. You'll need to activate the life support system to replenish oxygen aboard the ship. Toggle the switch on the ship's life support system. It will draw power from the ship's power grid.
So the life support system here requires 1 power. It also requires the airlocks to be closed, and it will oxygenate.
Ships come equipped with a basic life support system. It will slowly restore the ship's atmosphere, as long as you don't leave the airlock open.
So you can see
With the
here.
ship's atmosphere restored, we should probably do something about your mortal form. Your structural integrity is marginal, likely a sarcograph malfunction. We'll need biomass to repair it.
So,
Retrieve a biomass canister from the storage racks located at the front of the ship.
the ship's temperature and oxygen is there for life support. So now I'm going to grab biomass. Biomass is essentially like, you can think of it as healing material. So if you die, you have to print a new body with biomass, and if you're wounded, and my current health is 37%, you have to heal
Spare
using biomass.
Canisters can be deposited in the bioport near the sarcograph bay. Their contents will be added to the ship's biomass store. Step into the sarcograph once more and rejoice in the rejuvenating grace of Metam.
So in the top left of the screen, you have 2 resources, alloys and biomass. So I have 100 biomass now stored. And every time you die or heal, it will use up some of that biomass. It wants me to get into the sarcograph, but this is also an opportunity to show this is the sarcograph enhancement paddle. And putting in the combinations boosts it for 20 seconds. And then when you jump in, you heal a lot faster.
The stored biomass to repair your meat chassis. If you run out of biomass, the sarcograph will work much slower, so scavenge spare canisters when you can. We need to get the ship back to Metam Command, but it will need repairs first. I will guide you. I've registered resources in a jettisoned container outside the ship. We'll need a weapon to crack it open. I will teach you about item fabrication and system inscription. Retrieve nanoalloys from the storage shelves near the front of the ship. You should probably just leave that powered on.
I disagree, but okay. So the reason I disagree is as long as you don't, like, safety override your airlocks and vent out your ship, or are experiencing a cold or hot event out in space, your temperature and oxygen doesn't really change, and leaving that powered on is not a good use of your power because it's not actually doing anything. So now it wants me to pick up the alloy cluster.
Good. Now bring the alloys to the ship's fabricator.
And this is the fabricator. So stick the alloys in.
Use the fabricator's terminal to trigger the recycling process.
And turn the alloys into nanoalloy that adds to the ship's
recycled alloys are added to the
store.
Ship's alloy store. New ship systems are created via the process of inscription. The characteristics of the new system are inscribed on a blank animus crate. Advanced systems require higher tiers of blank crates. However, a high-tier crate will support a low-tier system. Use our alloys to fabricate a common blank animus crate.
So in order to add new systems to the ship, sometimes you find them as loot, but in this case, you print up a blank crate, and then you can inscript the blank crate into what you want it to be.
With the blank crate in the fabricator, you're able to inscribe the system specs for a benediction cannon.
All right. So here is the benediction cannon. So once the blank crate is loaded into the fabricator, we can turn it into a cannon. Here we go.
The characteristics of the weapon system are inscribed on the blank animus crate. With enough alloys, you'll be able to upgrade the fabricator, which will allow you to create higher tiers of blank crates. Retrieve the inscribed animus crate from the fabricator. The fabricator can learn various new blueprints. However, it requires that you recycle the corresponding item first, and the knowledge will be lost when your pilgrimage ends.
All right.
Install this weapon system so it faces the storage container.
So, in order to install it, you pick it up. When you pick up stuff, you can throw things too. And look at the hard point. Click down. And then at the top, hit construct. What is important is that you're not standing inside this cube while you construct, as I'll show. Clear the area of objects or personnel. So if you have like an item on the ground, it won't let it build.
Remember to power on the system before you use it. Though the ship has limited available power, we have enough to run what you've currently installed.
Do you guys need a little bit louder? Here, let me do this. All right. So, wants us to hop into the cannon. And then to hop out is hold F, hop in, F, and then tab is shooting angle.
The container is below you. Destroy it. was a hull repair plate inside. When you're ready, it's time to step into the void.
All right,
Now for the
time
tricky
to go to
part.
the airlock.
I've unlocked the airlock. Use the airlock controls to get through. I have disabled the safety override, just to make sure you don't accidentally eject yourself into the void of space without proper protection. Before proceeding any further, put on a jetpack. Without it, you'll turn into an Ek-type popsicle in a short moment. Good. With the jetpack on, it's now safe to depressurize the airlock. Proceed with caution. Navigate to the hull repair plate that was inside the container and retrieve it. The jetpack has an optional momentary thruster. It consumes your spare oxygen when you use it. You are ready to repair the ship's hull breaches. There is a major breach which will require you seal it with the hull repair plate before you attempt the repair. Excellent work. You are good at following orders. Now return back inside.
There we go.
Remember to pressurize the airlock before you remove your jetpack. For your next task, you'll want to prime the ship's thruster boosters. I've unsealed the doors to the engine room. Once primed, the thruster boosters can be triggered by the pilot from the ship's helm. They'll provide a temporary boost to ship speed and maneuverability, which is crucial for dodging incoming projectiles or chasing down a hostile. Next, we need to survey the area marked by the Medum nav buoy up ahead. The pilot can scan unidentified signatures from the helm.
All right, so the thrusters are charged.
Make your way to the bridge.
Go into the helm.
You'll need to power the helm before the controls will work. Be mindful of power management, lest you find yourself helming an unresponsive ship. You can look around while seated. This is great for orienting yourself. Now, fly to the nav buoy while you scan and identify all hostile signatures. Your helmet's HUD can display markers for objects of interest in the immediate vicinity of the ship. This is immensely useful for locating points of interest, approaching hostiles and potential salvage outside the ship. Proximity mines. The Hollow probably left these near the nav buoy as a trap for anyone seeking valuable salvage. Use the benediction cannon to shoot the mines. Be mindful that you might need to move the ship to get a proper shooting angle.
So, guns are very, on the smaller ships, don't exist, it's out of my range, in the front. So you either have port or starboard, and you should line your guns up that way. I'm getting a little bit closer because this one was out of range. So these proximity mines will also track an attack. So you got to be careful with it because if you fly into a minefield, that's a really good way to turn into a dead meat popsicle. We don't want that.
With the mines dealt with, we should get back to Medum Command. Now that you're brought back up to speed, I'm sure they'll have something exciting lined up for us. To leave our current objective in Sector, we'll need to execute a void jump. Mastering the procedure is critical knowledge. An expedient void jump can save the ship from destruction. And you, I suppose. A void jump requires two things: jump charge and an escape vector. Start by initiating the charge in the engine room. The void drive takes some time to spool. You can speed up the process by using the enhancement panel next to the drive.
So that was the
Many ship
enhancements
systems
panel?
have enhancement panels available. They're a handy way of optimizing system efficiency, even though their duration is limited. During your pilgrimages, leaving an objective before it is complete will be considered an objective failure. You cannot return to an objective sector that you've jumped away from. You can continue your pilgrimage, but will miss out on rewards for any failed objectives. Use the astral map and set the escape vector so we can align the ship to initiate the void jump. Return to the helm and rotate the ship to align with the escape vector, then pull the void jump lever. Stay in your seat. The void jump kick will propel any unsecured personnel backwards, often with terminal consequences.
There we go.
3, 2, 1. We're safely inside the void jump tunnel. Now use the astral map to set the jump destination to the exit sector.
So, starting sector, exit sector. This is just the tutorial, so there's really nothing else here.
Good. One final step remains. To leave the void jump tunnel, you must return to the helm and pull the void jump lever again. Thread work initialized. Transmitting X-type consciousness to Medum command. Stand by.
Alright, so that was the in-game tutorial, and I'll explain more of the game mechanics as we play through them, but let's now start a real run. And of course, yes, I am solo. This is a co-op game, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but I am up to the task. So this here is the lobby where you can do matchmaking and find people to play with. I would say this game kind of feels most similar to me like Pulsar Lost Colony, if you're familiar with that, but if not, like Deep Rock Galactic's Deep Dive. So a deep dive in Deep Rock Galactic is like multiple runs in a row, ultimately ending in like a boss fight, which is sort of how this game works, more or less. So let's do some things first. First thing is my loadout. So for the tutorial, we got a Gift of Medum, which is going to be a cosmetic. I was robbed. You know what? Why not? Stick I was robbed on my face. So, well, you know, I'm a dog owner. We'll put the dog paw. All right. Next. So all of these here are cosmetics. And then when you level up, you also will unlock ships and cosmetics and challenges and things like that. And then you can take your rewards and exchange them for higher quality rewards, and there will never be duplicates. Again, very much like Deep Rock, if you're familiar with Deep Rock. This is what I really wanted to show, which is the class trees, where you can mix and match. So, for every class, there's the starting ability. So a gunner gets stronger manned guns, a pilot gets the ability for thruster boost and shields, the engineer gets to be able to run faster and repair instantly, and I'm going to be choosing the scavenger, which is really important when you're solo. The scavenger gives you a grappling hook, so when you're EVAing, and some of the missions requires you to leave the ship, when you're playing as a solo, you don't want to leave the ship for very long, because that's how your ship goes boom. So I'm going to be playing with the grappling hook. But in this case, unlike Deep Rock, where you can't mix and match your styles, you can here. So I can take the grappling hook of the scavenger. It does lock out the gunner, pilot, and engineer, but I will be able to pick like pilot buffs here. So for instance, I am going to then next take the rotational acceleration boost for pilot. So I have a scavenger hook and a pilot buff. All right, we're going to pick some ship types next. So there are destroyers and frigates. Destroyers are for more people, usually 3 to 4, and frigates are for fewer people, like 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. And I'm going to be choosing the lone sentry because I'm alone. And it says recommended players 1. So here, as you can see, like taking the rookie, you probably want a full crew. Taking even the frigate rookie, you probably want, 2 or 3 people. The lone sentry has a bonus here. So every ship will have the blessing. So like, for instance, this rookie here has an active deflect, grants damage resistance for the ship. Well, the Lone Sentry here's blessing is it has reduced power drain for brain modules. Brain modules are modules that are automated, like automatic guns and automatic repair, and that allows you to play solo. And then also, when playing solo, you get more power. So that's our ship, and this is pretty much the only ship I'm going to be playing. There is a I could perchance play the Lone Sentry Destroyer instead of the frigate, but it's just larger, and trying to travel from point A to point B in a large ship when you're getting like shot at and need to repair stuff is horrible. And then because the pilgrimage challenges requires like specific ships, I'm going to do the standard, but it's also locked to me. And the way this works is there will be multiple objectives in a row, and then a boss fight, and then you can continue on to the next system, sort of like a FTL. As far as commands go, 1 is your active ability, so I can grappling hook up. And then this should be very DRG familiar as well. It almost looks like a drop pod for DRG. You sit down, and you load into your ship. So here we are at the start of our pilgrimage. And take the homunculus, stick it in, turn on the ship. Powering the void jump. And actually, before I go anywhere, I'm going to explain a little bit more of the game mechanics. So, over time, your engine will become less efficient, and these little levers and cranks and the like will essentially like blow out engine gas or whatever.
Thruster boosts fully charged.
How many trim problems that you have will be displayed here. So because it's all blacked out, it means I don't have any trim issues. But there's a bunch of levers here that you can repair, and for each one you're losing some engine performance. Here is the enhancement panel for the atmospherics, which when turned on will very, very, very quickly fix whatever atmospheric issues that you have, but the general is 100% oxygen and 21 Celsius. Back here is your circuit breakers. There's 2 hard points back here if you want to install things in the back of your ship. Normally I install passive things because it's kind of far away from the helm. Here's the map where we can set an escape
Void jump
vector.
Escape vector set.
And turning on the helm. But I'm not ready to jump yet because there's other things we need to do. So here are the automatic weapons. So this is an automatic kinetic weapon and an automatic energy weapon. And we can turn these on. And then I am actually going to move this brain auto mechanic. So this brain auto mechanic helps you to maintain one of 3 types of things of your ship. Either repair broken internal devices, repair your ship's trim, or boost your thrusters. And I'm going to put this over here. So these 2 weapons are on. They're automatic, meaning I can't sit in them to control them or anything like that. And they do have mod slots up here. So you see they're both installed starboard. This one is an energy-based weapon. This one is a kinetic-based weapon. Kinetics are better against armor. Energy is better against shields. They also have different ranges. So if you take a look down here, it's 700 damage, fire rate 2, accuracy 70. 700 damage, fire rate 2, accuracy 70. So they're basically the same, but they do different damage types. This is your grappling or gravity scoop. So things that are on the left side of the ship within the line of sight of this scoop will be sucked in to one of these 3 holes, which then we can recycle or store. So there's lots of storage on the ship if you don't want to recycle. But in this case, I'm going to recycle this hull repair plate. When you're playing solo, you basically don't get major damage on your hull, meaning you don't need plates. And then this is the auto mechanic. So here you can fix defects, engine trims, or thruster boosts. So I'm going to leave it on engine trims for now. What else didn't I cover? So we do start with a blank animus crate, but I'm going to choose not to inscript it because I don't know what I necessarily am going to want initially.
Airlock open.
And I think that's most of the ship. These are relic slots, which are like big passive boosts that you can add to your ship, which you earn as rewards going through the pilgrimage. And yeah, I think that's about it for the ship tour. So let's do our first jump. You can also, if you don't want to be pointed at the void escape vector, you don't have to. Once you pull the lever, it will automatically turn your ship towards it. Just slower than what the player could do.
3,
and then
2,
you should
1.
be in your seat. So when you're in the void tunnel here, initially it's stable, meaning you're not going to be intercepted. Sometimes you get intercepted and are thrown into a fight. So usually when you're in your void tunnel, it's a good time to run around and do maintenance. So if you have broken components on your ship, you want to change the loadout, you want to fabricate something, you want to, you know, recharge your thrusters or something like that, this would be a really good time. But if you do get, if the void tunnel collapses and you get intercepted, you need to get to a seat because you're going to get thrown about. So here we are at the start, and we have two choices here. There is a protect a group of Medum ships from incoming hollow forces. The enemies will spawn in waves, and Medum ships will provide some assistance in combat, but generally they're pretty useless. And the reward for that is Vagabond. Improves damage resistance for the ship. For every 25 units of stored alloys, it causes a reduced engine power for the ship. So, a bit of a trade-off. Now, the other thing is, just because we get the relic doesn't necessarily mean we have to use it. We can also recycle it for alloys. And the other one is download. Repair and maintain progenitor facility while it downloads vital data. EVA is required. Now, often when you're solo, you should actively avoid EVA. But I'm pretty good at EVAing, so I'm not too worried about it. So don't feel bad about saddling me with EVA. So let's see, what are we going to do? Protect or download? And the reward for this is a weapon I'm not going to use, so I would definitely recycle it. But, and then of course, at any point, you can end your current run by extracting. And the objectives that you have completed will be tabulated towards your victory evaluation. It's better to extract alive than to fight until you die. You'll get more rewards that way. And it looks to me like you guys want... And in terms of rewards here, there's also modifiers. So both of these zones will have the same modifiers. They're just of different difficulties. So there is Scorching Pulse, risk of heat storms, risk of a decrease of the ship's available power, and asteroid storms. So knowing that, I'm probably going to want to keep the ship's Atmo running. And let's go do a
Void
protect.
jump destination locked.
That won by small margin. That works for me. And jump it in. Now, as far as game theory goes, really early on, when you're not a high-level character, you aren't necessarily able to take on tough missions.
Closing in on a group of transports. The ships are running dark and silent while waiting for reinforcements. Your goal is to buy our fellow Ek-types enough time for them to activate their void drives and make the jump back to safety.
Approach the Medum ships. Once we're in range, they'll begin jump preparations.
So when you jump into a new zone,
When this happens, the Hollow will know where we are.
there is
They have gathered near a progenitor gun installation that is currently offline. We could EVA to the installation and activate the guns for additional support.
often there is stuff to salvage. So if I travel to that objective to approach the Medum ships, I sort of kick off the mission. But in this case, I would prefer to go down to this abandoned facility and scrap it for whatever it's worth. So, for every new zone, definitely check if there's like free resources before you start engaging with the mission. As soon as you
thruster boosts depleted.
As soon as you trigger the mission start or destroy an enemy ship, you get the ball rolling, and you can't undo that. Now, this abandoned facility is really far down, and we don't go up and down very fast. So I'm holding C as in Charlie to descend. And then once I've looted this thing, we will join the Medum ships, which are kind of just waiting. So at the start of a mission, for most missions, you're left alone, and it's a really good time to repair and things like that, because you can't exit your ship without basically immediately dying when you're in a void tunnel. So if you have hull breaches and the like, you want to repair them at the start. All right, so I've parked myself right in front of this facility. I used all of my thrust boosts to get down here, so I'm going to recharge those. The void drive, when it's charged up, completely ruins your ship's handling, so you really only want to charge your void up right before you're ready to go.
Airlock open. X-type is commencing EVA.
And I am repairing these superficial defects so that we can open up this facility and loot it. T is for flashlight. And as you can see, there's already some loot indicators for stuff to grab. Walking around is relatively slow, as you can see. So in here, I tend to like to jetpack. It's a bit faster. And then the grappling hook is very handy. It has a very quick cooldown compared to other things. And then when you're jetpacking, you can also hit shift for a quick thrust boost, but it uses up your suit's oxygen. Instead of bringing this back to the ship, I'm going to use the ship's gravity scoop. So I'm just going to throw the loot up into the air. Ooh, a blank animus crate. Oh my god, is that a good find. That is a stupid good find. It's like the best thing that you can find early on. Because printing these costs 20 alloys, and I have 1 alloy for reference. Alright, suit's low on oxygen. That might... Oh no, there's this building there. So I'm going to go into the other building in a minute as well. So I'm just going to refill my suit with oxygen, closing the exterior door, pressurizing, which adds oxygen to the suit, depressurizing, and then opening the exterior door.
Open.
You don't actually need to hang your suit back up to fill it. Just pressurizing the
EVA.
Just pressurizing the airlock will do. And what do we got in here? Guns. So I can control guns if I want. But no loot. And because I'm a solo player, I'm basically going to spend almost 0 time on manned guns. Alright, so let's get back to the ship, scoop that stuff up. And then get going toward the objective. So having thrown it up into the air, the gravity scoop has no problem fetching it.
Gravity scoop has retrieved an item.
And now we can grab it out of the scoop. And I'm going to store the blank crate. And I'm going to recycle the medium caliber ammo for 1 alloy. It will also learn the blueprint.
Blueprint
So-
added to fabricator.
We can make the medium crate of
Alloys
light
added
caliber.
to ship stores.
And light caliber ammo would be useful for, like, point defense, things like that. Alright. Now that that's done, we are going to go rendezvous with the crew up here. Actually, you know what? Now that I have 2 blank crates, I'm going to decide on something to do with them. So crate number 1. You are going to become a power generator. And crate number 2, you are going to become a shield. So the shields will protect 3 of the 4 sides of your ship. So I'm installing the shield in the aft, which will protect left, right, and rear, not front. So I don't have enough power to keep the shields engaged and everything else at the same time. So I kind of have to pick and choose. So I'm turning off the auto mechanic for now until I am able to upgrade the shields or upgrade the power generator or add power to the ship some other way. But now you can see shields, which will absorb and mitigate some of the damage that we take, which is a pretty good start. Now, the total hull, the total HP of your ship is essentially... When you make hull repairs, you can recover some of it, but there's no way to recover 100% of the damage that you take. So damage accumulates until it ends your run, either with you escaping or you dying. So trying to avoid damage is paramount, and shields and maneuverability and piloting skills are a really good way to avoid that. And on the back of the ship, you can see the shield section. You can see the 2 weapons on the starboard, and on port side, the gravity scoop. It's Menti KT. Thank you for the sub. And how long have I been playing this? Not very long, but I know it well enough. I just reset everything for the stream.
Embrace the stars, you've arrived. The Hollow will surely have detected your presence. We'll need your protection while we prepare for the void jump.
We need to mount a defense. The enemy will be here shortly.
I'm gonna try to get the battery lasers on, because they're very good at defending. Oh wow, messing that up already. So the Vanguard ships, like the NPC ships, are squishy and dumb, which is why protect missions are often pretty challenging. But this one came with a bunch of laser batteries, which is going to be super useful. Already getting shot at.
We have received minor damage.
And during the battle, there was going to be dropped loot. So this is a power cell that just got dropped. And I'm going to be trying to defend my allies here, but primarily I'm mostly concerned about the loot.
We have suffered major damage. Madam, preserve us.
As you can see here, the allied ships are like sitting duck idiots.
Anomalous jump signature detected.
Okay. This hollow sniper is probably what is shredding the ships, so I'm going to target it. Most of the small things, these little fighters, are pretty easy and low damage.
Destroying the hollow bombers. Their destructive potential is immense.
Oh crap, there's a bomber somewhere? Hollow bombers are one of the more dangerous types. I don't see a bomb. Oh no.
Warning. Large anomalous jump signature detected.
I don't see any bombers. Oh no, there's a bomber right there. Oh crap. Alright. Let's close the distance because that bomber is going to destroy my teammates. As you can see.
We have suffered catastrophic damage. We won't be able to hold out much longer.
Wow, the game's throwing bombers and destroyers at me for first mission? That's rough. My DPS is pretty low here. Oh, come on! Oh, no, it got just shot off. Alright. Evasive maneuvers! %2 damage. I can live with that. Alright, next. I don't think the Vanguard's going to survive.
Signature detected.
He's like almost dead. Again, these protection missions, the NPCs are like stupid as hell. So this doesn't surprise me at all. And it's a failure.
All Metam ships destroyed. This is a disappointing outcome, Type.
Oh, an elite bomber? Are you kidding me? What the hell is going on with this mission, dude? The other thing to note is at the top of my screen, you can see the reclaimer. So once you start engaging the hollows, they call for reinforcements. And the reclaimer is like a invincible, I murder you if you stay in this zone, so you better run type of boss. I would not even call it a boss fight. It is a get the hell out of this zone type. So, so once you start fighting in earnest, you are on a timer. So despite the fact that the Metam Vanguards died, I could leave, but what I'm trying to do is make the, you know what? That's another bomber in it. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get out.
Helm cruise mode activated.
So I turned the helm onto autopilot. It's not very good at autopilot.
Detected.
Charging up the void drive. Charging up the thrusters.
Helm cruise mode disengaged.
And then pointing towards the void jump escape vector and getting out of here.
Thruster boosts fully charged. 3, 2, 1.
Bye! Alright. Well, that was a good example of you don't actually have to win to benefit, because we lost the mission. Most protection missions are going to be in a loss, honestly. They're just really hard for solo pilots. But I did manage to get a lot of good components, so it wasn't a wash, so to speak. Thank you for tuning in to Void Crew, which originally streamed live on Twitch January 21st. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming stream. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Void Crew.